Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I have my top series to read in 2021. So these are the top 5 series that are on my 2021 TBR that I really should have read in 2020 or the year before that or the year before that, but I just never got around to it. And I own all of these series but I have not even read the first book in any of them. So I don't know why I do it. When I buy a series I have to buy the whole series. I just have to do it because I just feel like if I like the first one then I'm going to want to go straight on to the second one, so I need to have it. But I don't really know why I do that to myself, because then I have like all these series just sitting waiting for me, and if I don't like the first one there's no point in having the rest of them, is there? But that's just the way I do it, don't hate on me. Funnily enough, all of the series in this video I want to talk about are all fantasy. I know, right? I am a changed woman. This time last year we were not talking about fantasy on this channel. Actually no, we didn't have this channel this time last year, so that's a bit of a lie. But yeah, fantasy has become my absolute favourite recently. It is all I want to read. Fantasy and thrillers are like my top genres, and that'll probably change again, but right now that is all I want to read. So yeah, basically I have the top 5 fantasy series that I want to read this year, all of which are pretty well known, pretty well talked about, all of which most of the people I know have already read, hence why I really want to get round to them all. But yeah, I'm just going to go for the series that I own, that I want to read in 2021, and have a little chat about it. So before I get into that, if you could please hit this video with a like, that would be hugely appreciated because it really supports my channel. And if you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe for more bookish content from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So the first series I have here that I want to read in 2021 is the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. So that is Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. These are being talked about all the time at the moment because obviously there is a Netflix series coming out based off of these books, so I really want to read them before that comes out. I'm definitely gonna have to read them before I watch the series because I have to read a book before I watch the TV show or the film or whatever, most of the time, unless I don't know that there is a book that it is based on, if that makes sense. But yeah, these are the Grishaverse series, I believe. They're a trilogy. They're Leigh Bardugo. I have not read any Leigh Bardugo as of yet, but I've heard very good things. Once again, I have Impulse bought, and I do not know what this series is about at all, but I've bought the series because everyone raves about it. So we are going to read the blurb together and find out what this series is about. Alina Starkov is a soldier. When her regiment is attacked whilst crossing the Shadow Fold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Now Alina will enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. He believes Alina can summon a force capable of destroying the Shadowfield and reuniting their war-ravaged country, but only if she can master her untamed gift. But as Alina unlocks the secrets of her past, she will make a dangerous discovery that could threaten all she loves and the very future of a nation. That sounds very good. It gives me, in a very like far removed sense, it gives me Poppy War vibes, but obviously this is like a very young adult version of that. This is not going to be anywhere near as dark or violent as that, I don't think, but the whole like military elite, magic, war ravaged country, main character being like the secret to that gives me Poppy War vibes. But this sounds like it's going to be a wild, exciting ride. I think it's quite short. Where is it? Is there even any page numbers on this? 308 pages. So this is just over 300 pages. That is, surely that's like a one-day read. Maybe I should do like a 24-hour reading vlog and like see how many of the series I can read in 24 hours. Let me know down below if that's something you'd like to see, because that could be fun. Yeah, they sound hugely interesting. We know at the moment I love a fantasy, I love a magical military war vibe, especially with a strong female character. So yes, very excited to get around to them in 2021, probably very soon. The next series I have on my list of top series to read in 2021 is the Lunar Chronicles. Now I only own Cinder and Scarlet of these. I know there are others, Press and Winter. But these are by Marissa Meyer. They're the Lunar Chronicles series. They all, I believe, are like modern retellings of fairy tales, or if they're not retellings, they have like fairy tale characters like Cinderella and Snow White and others, but in like a sci-fi sense, I believe. I feel like Cinder's maybe like a cyborg. I don't know about the others. As always, I don't know much about the series before I bought it, but let's read the blurb of Cinder together. A gifted mechanic in New Beijing is also a cyborg. She's reviled by her stepmother and blamed for her stepsister's sudden illness. But when her life becomes entwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she finds herself at the centre of a violent struggle between the desires of an evil queen and a dangerous temptation. Cinder is caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal. Now she must uncover secrets about her mysterious past in order to protect Earth's future. This is not the fairy tale you remember, but it's one you won't forget. So yeah, modern retellings of the fairy tales, I guess. But again, I've heard really good things about this series. I don't know if it's kind of a love or hate one, because I do think I've seen other people really not enjoy them that much, but I've heard other people totally rave about them and love them. Again, they sound like a very YA fantasy, probably a really quick, fun read, which I am all about at the moment. And as I've mentioned before on this channel, I love fairy tale retellings in any form. Just love them, I eat them up. So yeah, very excited to get around to those. The next series that I have on this list is the... does it have a name? I don't know if this has a name, but it's basically the Duology by V.E. Schwab of Vicious and Vengeful. I've mentioned these recently because they were in my Christmas book haul. I got these for my Christmas from my parents and I am dying to get around to these. Vicious is actually on my January TBR, so I should be reading that very soon, and then I'll probably have to go straight onto Vengeful because I'll want to know what's happened. So these might be the first on this list that actually get read this year. But yeah, I'm sure last time I tried to explain these I wasn't very good at it. I'm really bad at explaining things, so yeah, I'm just gonna read the blurb again because I think that's the best thing for everyone. Victor and Eli started out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognise the same ambition in each other. A shared interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor breaks out of prison, determined to catch up to his old friend, now foe, aided by a young girl with a stunning ability. Meanwhile, Eli is on a mission to eradicate every other superpowered person that he can find, aside from his sidekick, an enigmatic woman with an unbreakable will. Armed with terrible power on both sides, driven by the memory of betrayal and loss, the arch nemesis have set a course for revenge, but who will be left alive at the end? So this sounds really fun, like superhero, supervillain vibes, X-Men vibes, I'd say. Like, I'm sure I mentioned that before, it sounds like X-Men to me, like you've kind of got like Magneto and Professor X, kind of. It's interesting how they've both got female sidekicks. I'm interested to see how that is done in this, if there's any sort of like gender questions or challenging in there. But yeah, these sound like really gripping is the word I'd use, and that is actually the word on the front. But they sound gripping, they sound interesting, they sound like a sort of fun ride. And I have just read my first V.E. Schwab book, which was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I absolutely loved her writing style. So I'm really excited to get into more of her books and hopefully I will enjoy them just as much. So yeah, reading these ones soon. The next series that I have on this list of top series to read in 2021 is actually another V.E. Schwab series, and that is the Darker Shade of Magic, or is it the Shades of Magic series? I don't know. I should really look these things up before I decide to do a video on them. Darker Shade of Magic. So you've got a Darker Shade of Magic, a Gathering of Shadows, and a Conjuring of Light. And I believe this is a trilogy. I bought the box set as always because I'm a sucker for a bargain, and I was on Books to Doors and I saw these and I just had to get it. So yes, this series I have heard really good things about, apart from like one person recently I saw on Twitter really didn't like them. Now I'm worried because I've been looking forward to these for so long. But this one is, I believe, the one that has like multiple parallel Londons that are different colours. Let's just read the blurb, shall we? Kel is one of the last travellers, magicians with a rare ability to travel between parallel universes connected by one magical city. There's Grey London, without magic and ruled by the mad King George III. Red London, where magic is revered? Don't know. And where Kel was raised alongside the heir to the empire. White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic and magic fights back. And once there was Black London. This sounds really interesting. Once there was Black London, that makes me think that there is still a Black London. Maybe it's going to come back in these books, because why mention it otherwise, you know? Kind of like District 13 in Hunger Games. Y'all thought it was gone, but it's still there. That's the vibe it's given me. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, these are supposed to be like fast-paced, gripping novels. Again, like I said, I really enjoyed V.E. Schwab's writing in the first of her books that I read, so hopefully I'll enjoy it in these as well. I really loved her world building. I thought she was so clever with how she came up with everything, so hopefully that'll be the same in this. I've also mentioned before that I really like parallel universe, parallel lives, that whole theme. So I'll really, really excited to read these for that reason as well. I nearly read the blurb for the third one. I don't know why I did that to myself. But yeah, hopefully this will be another series that's going to be gripping, exciting, interesting, all of the other things, and I'm really excited to get around to this one as well. The final series that I have on this list of top 5 series to read in 2021 is the 3 Dark Crowns series by Kendar Blake. So we've got 3 Dark Crowns, 1 Dark Throne, 2 Dark Reigns, and 5 Dark Fates. And these ones look really pretty when they're on your bookshelf all together because they are so colourful. But they're also really difficult to do when you want to have rainbow shelves because they're like every colour of the rainbow in one series. So I have to keep my series together. I don't like my series being apart. These books, again, I have heard amazing things about. I think I've read the first one. I feel like I read it a few years ago, but I really cannot remember anything about it. Apart from the fact that I did really enjoy it, I just never went on to the rest of them. I've had these books on my bookshelf for such a long time now, and I need to get around to reading them in 2021. Like this is one of the ones I need to do. Like all of them I need to, but this one I like need to. So these books are, again, YA fantasy, as is the rest of this little haul. What is... As are the rest of the books in this video. This one is quite dark. I remember it being quite dark, but it's still YA, so it's not too violent or dark or sinister. But basically, in this world, on the island of Fenburn, there's always a queen that is like the leader of the world, and she will always have triplets. And when the triplets are born, they are given off to different factions of the society of the world. So this world has like different factions that have different types of magic. So there's the elementals, the poisoners, the naturalists, and I think there once was another one, maybe like war or something like that. I'm sure there's something, I remember that from the last time I read it. Basically, they're all given to a different faction. They grow up till they are 16, and then once they turn 16, they start a fight to the death, and whoever wins that challenge becomes the new queen. That was like a very concise and crap way of describing the series, but that is basically the gist of it, and that intrigues me a lot. So I'm really excited to get around to these very soon. Again, love strong female characters, as I've mentioned, and I think they will be very strong and fierce in this, which I am excited for. I'm excited to dive into this world and find out all about it and why there's this whole thing about them having to fight to the death, how the queen always has triplets, all of the different factions and their different powers, like magical powers. I'm just so excited to get around to this one. I feel like these are the sort of books that, again, I'll just get totally lost in, and once I've read the first one, I'll just want to shoot through all the others. They might be like a good series to take on holiday. Not that we'll be going anywhere anytime soon, but I feel like it's a sort of series that would be good to take on holiday and just like race through for the week. It's giving me those vibes. But yeah, once again, I'm very excited to get around to these when I do. So that is the top 5 series that I need to read in 2021. I am so excited to get around to all of these. If you have read any of these, if you want to read any of these, then do let me know in the comments down below, especially if anyone wants to do a buddy read for any of these. I'm always up for that. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, then do please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below for more content from me, comment with any of your thoughts and feelings, and I will see you in my next one.